Good evening, everybody. I wanted to create this video real quick for you guys to take a closer look at the way that we can use this spreadsheet to quickly grade creative work by the students based on your own kind of rubric that you may have. So when you first get this, or the link, it's going to pop up on something like this. I'm actually signed in into my personal account, and up here on the left-hand side, you see this View Only button. If your district uses is a Google Classroom or Google district, then you should be able to log into it. And once you log in to your account using your Google account, then you should be able to go up to File and then make a copy. And once you make a copy, then you should be able to edit it in order to kind of make the changes that you might need. Okay, so now this one here is disconnected from the copy that I made, and now I actually have a working copy of the spreadsheet for myself to use. Know that any of these top rows up here, you can change them out to whatever you want. So say like if you already have a rubric that is created for yourself, then you can name these whatever you want. Okay, and then you can add more or less. I'm going to show you a quick way to kind of update them per se. Okay, so say for example, the first one, I'm just going to give it a different name. Just for example, I'm going to put low on there and then just leave it as such. Now, what really matters is the values behind these. So if you hold down, I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to make sure that I edit all the values in this column here. I'm going to go over to Data, and then I'm going to go to Data Validation down here. Once I have that, because you're actually editing the sheet that I gave you, you will already have this Use Custom Cell Values. So whenever the cell is checked, it's going to be worth 25 points. And then unchecked, I'm leaving it at 0. Those are the only edits that I'm making to this. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it as I have it. But say, for example, if your rubric, this is more, you want to change the value of low. Maybe low, you want it to be 10 instead of 25. Then you can go ahead and make that change here. So I'm going to cancel this because I haven't made any kind of change to that. I'm just going to leave it as such. And if I select this, it automatically adds 25 to the score right here for this first example student of Brendan Smith. Okay, so as I add this, you have to, like say for this first blue area that says complete, I am not going to select all 3 of them, because if I do, I'm already over at 135. For me and for my little rubric, I'm only going to select one of these at a time. For example, all, they did good, they're at 65. The expectations, if they did not meet them or they did not exceed it, then they don't get anything there. But if they at least met it, they get an additional few points. Or if they exceed those expectations, then they're on track to get a bigger grade. Did they follow instruction? Or is it original? Is it creative? And does it have that wow factor? One thing that I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of is that the grades, whatever values that you set to it, you would want for it, in my opinion, to add up to 100 once the criteria that you have has been selected and the student has met all the expectations and all the criteria that you have for yourself. Now this rubric here, this system is based off of a 100-point scale. Some of your rubrics may have like a column that if they met, it's a 5, and if they did not meet, it's a 4, and if they're below, maybe it's a 1. And if it is something like that, you may have to do some extra math, equations here. But for mine, right here in this one, you'll see that all I'm doing is up here in this little area that says equal sum, I am adding up the values of the checkboxes through the E column all the way to the M column. if you want to do any extra math in there, you might have to add it to this. So say you may have to multiply E, F, or G by a certain number of percentage in order to get the final value to be at 100 or more, depending on the way that you want to do it. I would say that if that's you and you need a little bit of help with that, just let me know and I could take a look at your rubric that you're kind of coming up with and how to create the math for this so it tallies up to 100 or the score that you're kind of going for. Alrighty. So I hope that this helps. Remember that once you have it all set up, you could, just like any spreadsheet, just select it and then create more rows just by clicking and dragging. So if you have 100 students or 120 students, you could just drag this value all the way down. And say, for example, here as well, I can drag this down and then it's going to start adding the math that's already programmed into that first area down here. Okay. So then that should be perfectly fine there, just like that. Alrighty. So please let me know if you have any questions or if you need any clarification. I do plan to make some more tutorial or follow-up tutorials for the stuff that I already worked on, and maybe like some preview stuff for if you're going to come back in the spring for my second class, which I would love to see you there. That would be great. So let me know if there's anything else that you may want or any clarification that you need on this one. Thank you so much.